No phone, no TV, no internet, no book, no music you can play on demand, no game, no podcast, no scroll. Just you, a fire, some trees, and a whole lot of time. If you transported yourself back 50,000 years and sat down with a group of our ancestors after a successful hunt, after they'd eaten and the immediate business of survival was handled, what did they actually do? What filled the hours? What did a Tuesday afternoon look like when humans had genuinely nothing to do? The answer isn't what you'd expect, and it reveals something surprisingly important about what human brains were actually built for. Let's find out. Here's why this question is harder than it sounds. We assume ancient humans were constantly busy, hunting, gathering, building, surviving, a non-stop grind just to stay alive. And that's true some of the time, but not all of the time. Anthropologists who have studied modern hunter-gatherer societies, groups who still live close to the way our ancestors did, found something that surprised them. These groups don't spend all day working. On average, they work somewhere between 3 and 5 hours a day to meet their basic needs. The rest is free time. Genuine, unscheduled, open time, which means our ancestors almost certainly had the same. Chunks of time where survival was handled, food was eaten, and there was simply nothing that needed doing right now. No to-do list, no productivity app, no obligation, just open hours. So what did they do with them? The evidence from cave art, burial sites, ancient tools, and observations of modern hunter-gatherers tells a remarkably consistent story. They talked a lot. Anthropologists believe that language itself evolved primarily not to coordinate hunts or plan agriculture, but to gossip, to share social information. Who did what? Who is reliable? Who isn't? What happened yesterday? What might happen tomorrow? Robin Dunbar, one of the most influential anthropologists of the last 50 years, argues that around 65% of human conversation time, then and now, is spent on social topics, not survival. Social. The firelight hours after a meal were in a very real sense the original podcast. Stories, observations, speculation, jokes. The same human impulse that makes you want to tell someone what happened today is tens of thousands of years old, and alongside talk came music. Archaeologists have found bone flutes dating back over 40,000 years, percussion instruments even older. Rhythm and singing, at minimum, appear to be as old as modern human behavior itself. Music wasn't invented to entertain. It seems to have been a tool for social bonding. Groups who moved together, sang together, drummed together, felt more connected, more trusting, more coordinated. Play wasn't leisure, it was infrastructure. They also made things they didn't strictly need. The cave paintings at Lascaux, Altamira, and dozens of other sites aren't survival manuals. They're art. Careful, deliberate, sometimes breathtakingly beautiful images of animals, handprints, abstract patterns, made in deep, difficult-to-access caves by people who brought their own light sources, mixed their own pigments, and spent hours or days creating something that was never strictly necessary for staying alive. Archaeologists have also found beads, ornaments, and personal decorations going back over 100,000 years, evidence of body paint, carved figurines with no clear practical purpose. Our ancestors weren't just surviving, they were expressing, decorating, imagining, and they played. Evidence from ancient sites and from modern hunter-gatherers shows that adults played games, not just children. Running games, throwing competitions, games of skill and chance. Play is found in every human culture ever studied, and in every social primate. It seems to be wired in, but here's what connects all of it. The talking, the music, the art, the play, none of it is truly doing nothing. Every single activity is fundamentally social. Even the cave paintings, made in isolation, were likely made for an audience, for the group to see, for stories to be told around. Ancient free time wasn't empty. It was full of the deepest human activities: connection, meaning-making, creativity, and bonding. Here's the twist that makes this more than a history lesson. Because if you look at what ancient humans did with free time, talking, storytelling, music, play, art, and then you look at what the modern world has mostly replaced those with,
You get a picture that should make you pause. We replaced talking around a fire with scrolling through feeds. We replaced storytelling with consuming content. We replaced making music with streaming it. We replaced play with passive entertainment. And the thing about all the ancient activities is that they were participatory. You were in them. You were making the music, not just hearing it. You were telling the story, not just watching it. You were playing the game, not watching someone else play on a screen. The ancient brain, your brain, still running that same ancient hardware, was designed to be a participant, not an audience, which is why passive consumption often leaves people strangely empty even after hours of it. You've been entertained, but you haven't been engaged. There's a difference, and your brain, 50,000 years old, knows the difference even if you don't. Here's the payoff, and it connects everything. Boredom, as we experience it, is actually a modern invention, not the feeling itself. Our ancestors absolutely experienced the discomfort of unoccupied time, but the word boredom only entered the English language in the 19th century, right around the time that industrial work created the first large-scale experience of repetitive, meaningless labor. Before that, there wasn't really a word for it, because the experience was different. Ancient free time wasn't boredom. It was something closer to what psychologists now call rest that builds, time that was genuinely restorative because it was spent doing the things the human brain evolved to do: connect, create, play, tell stories, not just pass time, but use it. The modern version of free time, scrolling, watching, consuming, isn't rest in that sense. It occupies the brain without restoring it, which is why you can spend 4 hours watching videos and feel more tired afterward than before. Your brain got input, but it didn't get what it was actually hungry for. What ancient humans knew, without knowing they knew it, is what every study on human well-being now confirms. The things that make us feel most alive aren't the things we consume, they're the things we do with other people. So the next time you're bored, genuinely, deeply, nothing to do bored, you're actually experiencing a kind of invitation, not to fill the silence with more content, but to do what your ancestors did when the hunt was done and the fire was going. Talk to someone, make something, even if it's small, play something, tell a story, sing something, even badly. Your brain isn't asking for more input, it's asking for what it was actually built for: participation, connection, and meaning. 50,000 years ago, someone sat by a fire with free time on their hands and decided to paint something on a cave wall. That impulse to make something that means something to someone is still in you. It hasn't gone anywhere. The fire is different now, but the human is the same. I'm the Stick Sage, and the next time someone asks what people did before phones, now you know.